Good evening and welcome to Full Blood Moon Prompts, take two. So this time you'll be able to hear me. I apologize, the first video didn't take. So what do we need to know about this full moon? This is a full moon with a lunar eclipse that's coming from a solar eclipse at the last moon. So this is a whole portal that we're moving through. And the last 6 months, the last 2 years, all of these things are coming together to end at this eclipse. So, what you need to ask yourself is what do you no longer need? What do you no longer resonate with? What is no longer working for you? Divinations, all those things. We need to do a lot of deep consideration on this one, okay? So, when I say deep consideration, that means journaling, correct? Hence, we have full moon prompts. These prompts are related to ancestry. Now, what do I suggest you do on this full moon? Okay, number one, cleanse, cleanse, cleanse. Cleanse your house, cleanse your space, cleanse your working area, cleanse your wards, all of those things. Then you are going to move into this aspect of gratuity for the things you have. And if you have something that you're not grateful for, maybe it's time to pass it on and release it. Now, we go to ancestry, and a lot of people have a lot of excuses about ancestry, and I'm going to keep it real simple for you. Everyone has foods that their family resonates with, practices their family resonates with, rituals you resonate with, holiday rituals you resonate with. What are those things you think of? What ethnic background do you originate for? All those things are super important in this when you're looking at ancestry. When you dream, where do you go in your dreams? When you dream you're an old lady in a past life, where are you living? This is most likely a connection to your lineage. Ancestry requires realization of who you are and what you are. That means who was your grandma? Who was your great grandma? Now, ancestry cannot just be blood. Ancestry is the community that you were raised in. So if you're adopted and your birth mother is maybe Irish, but you were raised in a Polish family, um, you're probably going to have more Polish ancestry than Irish. Yes, you'll have Irish because it's your blood, but you'll have this Polish because it was your breeding, it was your community, it was the people who raised you. Ancestry is what you choose to make it, is the people who love and grow you. And that, in essence, is the full realization of ancestry. So when you're reaching into this, these questions are so potent and so helpful. What is your earliest memory of a family member? What do you remember about them? If you could ask one of your ancestors a question, what would it be? What do you want to know? What do you want to know about your practice? What do you want to know about yourself? What do you want to know about traditions that you're missing? This is the time to do it. The veil is opening. If you want to have these conversations, these people can come forward and have these communications with you. Now, what is the most important thing you're going to want to do tonight? You're going to want to draw down that moon. So, in my fucking feralness, I am not going to give you this huge ritual. I'm not going to give you this huge thing to speak. I'm going to tell you how I fucking fairly pull down the moon. I hone myself in, I align myself, ground myself in my feet, feel into my elements, call the four corners, and I bring open my womb space. From the top of the moon all the way down. And I bring it into my hearth. And I pull that moon energy into my hearth and into my spirit. And when I do this, I feel the full moon at my use. I'm pulling that in. I'm pulling that energy into myself. Now, be careful. This is a chaos moon. So you may not want to draw down this moon if you're not up for a little immediate quick magic. This one's going to work fast and it's going to be potent, and you're probably going to have a little bit of a bangover tomorrow morning. You you are going to feel like you have been wrung out like a wash rag and put away wet because you're exhausted from all this magic that's flowing through you. You should be able to feel it in your fingertips, in your legs, in your arms, in your soul, in your heart, in your mind, everywhere. You'll feel electric. And that is the best part of a moon like this. So we have cleansed, we have drawn down the moon. How about a little divination? If you already haven't loaded down the Samhain cards that are over on the LHC Shit store, it's a great way to get a cheap set of cards to keep going, okay? $2. What are we going to do before we divine? What are we going to do before we divine, goddess? We're going to meditate a little bit. We're going to sit in this space. Now, let me teach you a quick trick to divination. This is an oracle quick trick. Are you ready? So, I am going to sit in my space with the moon, and I'm going to really think and feel into this. Then I'm going to write 3 to 5 questions on a piece of paper. But I'm not going to label them 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm going to give them all different numbers outside. So maybe the first question will be 5, the second question will be 3, and so on. So you get rid of those numbers, okay? Shuffle my cards real hard, hold them, bring them up to the moon, let them pull in all that energy. If you're inside, bring them up to the window, let them pull in all that energy. Bring them to your candle, let them pull in all that energy. Then I'm going to deal them out, okay? As many cards as you wrote questions, put them down. Next part. We're not flipping yet. We're not flipping yet. I want you to really sit into this space. I want one hand on the paper, one hand in the area where the cards are, and I want you to just hum, and I want you to come into a container. This, that, all. This, that, all. Create this spell work. Create this container of divination energy. You want this, that to be all. This, that to be all. You want these 3 things to come together. You want the past in the cards, the questions, and yourself to become one. This, that, all. This, that, all. Rock back and forth. Get into that zone. Then I want you to take your hands and arrange those cards in the manner that you feel they are being called to be. You'll feel the hum, you'll feel the heat, and just move that card into one. Feel it again, move those cards into the line. Finally, flip them over and use each of the cards to answer your questions. First card corresponds with the first question, and so forth. I have been doing this with my moon work for the past 2 years, and it has never been off. It has been a little alarming at times, but it has never been off. So what I want you to remember in this is do the cleansing bath, head to toe, wash it away, throw it down the drain, have a cup of tea, get into the zone, ward your space, light your altar, pull down the moon, do the prompts, do the divination, and just soak in all this energy. Most importantly, don't miss that eclipse. Don't miss that eclipse. And when you're breathing it through, give it everything you got to push through that negative that you no longer want with you. Close that door and let it go. Magical women like you and I don't have time to piss around with small details. This is your magic. May the circle be broken yet sacred and keep you safe tonight in this energy. Thank you for coming to part 2. I really am sorry about part 1. And I look forward to seeing all of you at the slumber party later and tomorrow night for Ancestry Magic if you're in the fucking Feral Sisterhood. Have a great night. You're magic because you fucking say you are. You're feral because you choose to be. And remember, your presence is needed, not your perfection. Thanks, guys. Have a great night.